All right, we're back for another video. Walking into the old garden. Really, it's 2+ years old, but it's not going to be here forever. I have plans to put a pole barn here someday. But these are the beds that I built right when we moved in. Built them out of barn wood because wood was super expensive 2.5 years ago. So actually the pile of wood is over there. I only ended up using about half of it that I bought on like Craigslist from somebody who took all this wood off a barn. So it served me well. They're not really nice looking, and I didn't do a super good carpentry job on them, but I've been growing food out of them, and they are starting to fall apart, but this may be the last season. So just kind of take you around each bed. This is obviously super overgrown. It's raspberries and one echinacea plant right there. That is an echinacea plant that I brought from my previous house, and I just a holding tank. In fact, I know in a video that I did 2 years ago, I called this a holding tank, and that's really what it is. I tried to do some propagation here, where you basically take a pot of dirt and you skin off part of the stem, and it's supposed to become its own raspberry plant that you can then just clip off after a month or so and then go plant it. Well, that just didn't work at all. I tried it like 5 or 6 of them, and they just didn't really sprout roots at all. But I have a different plan now because they're putting off all kinds of little babies all around. That's just what raspberries do. These are all, their mother plant is somewhere in there. So I just need to dig these up, and then I would like to have a row of them. Behind the chicken coop there is where all my trees are. So just kind of a row down each kind of lane. I've got 2 or 3 different lanes, depending on how you look at it. So once I do that, then really I can just clip all this out of here and use this bed for something else. Last year, right when we started to get berries off of it, especially the red berries, I think we got a lot of the golden berries, whatever that's called. But before the red ones ripened, everything in this bed died. I think because it's overcrowded, which it's worse now than it was then. All right, coming around here, this is 3 tomatillo plants that are in the rings here, something that I've not grown since we've been on this property. I am having the hardest time growing peas. I had 4 or 5, I don't remember, 4 I think, pea plants that I started inside, and I transplanted them out here a month ago, 6 weeks ago, and I think the squirrels snapped them off, and this is the only one that survived. That said, this one's doing incredibly well. I mean, for just one plant, we should be getting peas off of that soon, sugar snap peas. That's a volunteer potato that I just didn't harvest all the potatoes out of here last year, and that's what happens. Seems like you can't ever get all of them. And that's just a couple marigolds, another potato. Nothing else to see really in this bed. Over here. Oh, and speaking of the peas then, so then I planted, after soaking them for 24 hours like you're supposed to do, I planted a whole row of peas here. Not a single one of them shot up. Also, in space that was open here, I plugged in some peas, and they just never grew. Don't know what the deal is. They're not old seeds. I watered them. I don't know what the deal is. It's probably my fault, but I don't know what I did. These are my favorite zucchini. I've talked about these before. Romanesco. There's one forming right there. I just picked 3 small ones and gave them to the chickens, and I'll probably do the same thing tomorrow because we're leaving on Monday for a week. So just pick the small ones off. The chickens will enjoy them, and then of course that's gonna stimulate the plant to want to put off more fruit. So I would expect that I'll have some by the time we get back. I just picked all the garlic out of here. I don't know, maybe 50 of them, 50 stalks of garlic. I wasn't super impressed with the size of the bulbs, but nonetheless, we got a huge harvest of garlic. I'll probably plant back about 1/3 of it, and we'll eat the other rest of it. That's an onion, just like I showed in the last video at the enclosed garden. I'm just going to maybe save seed. I believe this is a different variety of onion, so it'll be a different variety of seed that I save. Over here, more onions. Not doing great. They're just these little spindly things. They haven't really done much. I water them every day because I'm just worried in this hot weather they're just going to burn up in the sun. So they're making it. Not every one of them's made it, but they're making it. These beans are doing what the pole beans always do, just shooting right up, grabbing onto the trellis here. Should have beans. I would guess we'll probably be picking beans in about 3 weeks. Nothing in here right now. This is spinach. A little bit spotty growth here, but actually I think squirrels got the seeds. I've been seeing 2 gray squirrels over here. Every time I walk out there, like in this area, and then they run away. You can keep the deer out with the fence, but the squirrels, they can still get in. That's a flat leaf parsley, not doing great. We'll see. Marigold. This is my oregano plant that is just a monstrosity. I've showed this before. Actually, I'm going to probably harvest off of this today and hang up some leaves to be drying while we're gone, and then we'll have some dried oregano when we get back. Coming around. This is a thyme plant. I've had the hardest time growing thyme from seed too. I failed. In fact, I failed every time. I've never grown thyme from seed, but I got this from somebody. This was in the city, and some guy was like cleaning up his front yard garden, and he's like, "You want some of it?" And I'll take that thyme. So he divided up a thyme and came in and put it in my own garden. These two here are 2 cucumbers. Tender green, burpless cucumber, that says. And then these other 2, this is for sure a spaghetti squash, and this is, I think, a spaghetti squash. I know for sure this is a spaghetti squash because I took it out of a package that said spaghetti squash. This one was some seeds that were sitting on a shelf all winter long that I just didn't notice, just forgot about. My wife knew they were there and I didn't know they were there, and she ended up moving that shelf, and I'm like, hey, how long have these been here? Like since November. So I've tried to think back, and which one did I save it from? I think it was a spaghetti squash, so these may both end up being the same thing, or maybe we'll get a surprise. Okay, and then I just had a few leftover tomatoes that didn't make it into my tomato trellis over there. These were the sickly looking ones, but why would I kill them? I'll just go ahead and stick them in the ground and see what happens. So that's what happened there. This was just a couple of raspberry plants, and they just are blowing up too. So this is kind of turning into the same problem that I have over there. Not sure what I'm going to do yet. And they're overtaking my strawberries. This is supposed to be the strawberry bed. Now if you look in there, this is not anything new. I've showed this in a video before too, but you see, oh, look at that red strawberry. Actually, that's a rock that I've painted to discourage the chipmunks and the birds from getting in here when I do get strawberries. But the problem is, though the plants are doing fantastic, I really just didn't get any strawberries. I ate 1 strawberry, and it was actually on the ground where this squash is covering up now. But there was one that was what do I want to call it? A runner from the strawberry. Takes it out of the bed, and I didn't end up pulling that up or whatever, and it had a berry on it, and I ate it, but I did not get any from in here. I suspect that maybe I don't get enough sun here. Got a tree line right there, so maybe I get 4 or 5 hours of sun. And now I got another problem, because if you can see that's I think that's deer. I think that's deer eating my strawberry leaves. So I'm getting lazy and I'm not closing this at night. I think I probably got to fix that, but I got to move this patch too. I've got to move the strawberries probably down the hill, probably somewhere where the raspberries are going to go, where they're going to get more sunlight. All right, so that's kind of an update on the garden that I started 2 years ago. Again, long term, I've got to move some of this stuff down the hill so we don't lose production space, so that when the time comes, I can make this my pole barn. Garage is right there, so I want to have enough room to at least like get a car through there, and then maybe like right on that post be right about where my pole barn would start someday after we're done paying for college. All right, that's all. Thanks for watching.